maantana waxa aynu ka hadli doonaa arrimaha caafimaadka gaar ahaan sunta loo yaqaano lead ama sunta rasaasta inta badan rinjiga ama biyaha ama carrada laga helo oo carruurta yaryar u daran korniinkoodana wax badan u dhimi karta. barnaamijka waxaa marti inoogu ah saraakiil ka socota Hennapin County oo weliba isugu jira dad dhaqaatiir iyo dad technical oo arrintaani u leh aqoon durugsan. barnaamijka waxaa la socodsiinaa anigu Cabdirasaaq Sheekh Mursal, xagga farsamada waa injineer Siyaad Saciid Saalax. idinkuna waxaan doonaynaa wixii su'aalaad qabtaan inaad noo soo dhigtaan barta Facebook hadda inaga daawanaysaan. marka ugu horeysa waxaan ka codsanayaa dadka martida inoo ah inay istacriifiyaan. waxaan ku bilaabahayaa Amy. Amy, could you describe yourself and who you are and what you do?
I'm Amy Waller. I'm a public health nurse at Hennapin County. I do home visiting with families who have whose children have already been diagnosed with lead poisoning, and I also do some other home visiting of families.
Thank you so much. How about you, Zua?
Yeah, so my name is Zua. I'm a lead risk assessor and also a lead prevention outreach educator. So I go into families and educate families about lead poisonings.
waa tahay labadoodaba waxay noo sharaxi doonaan sunta lead ama sunta rasaasta waxa loo yaqaano waxa ay tahay. waxaan ku bilaabahayaa sunta lead waxa ay tahay iyo sida ay dadka u gasho. waxaan nooga jawaabay su'aashaasi Amy, what's lead and what does it mean to be exposed to lead?
Lead is a metal. It's found in the environment. When children have lead poisoning, it means the lead has gotten into their body, which can be dangerous for little children.
So how does lead get into the body?
It can get into the body a few ways. The most common way in Minneapolis is through the paint in old houses. We used lead in the paint here in the United States until 1978, and most of the houses in Minneapolis are pretty old, so there's lead paint in there somewhere, and when the paint starts chipping and peeling, it's part of the dust in the house, and when little children play on the floor and they put things in their mouths, then the lead gets into their body.
Yeah, thank you so much. sida ay inoo sharaxayso sunta lead waxaa inta badan laga helaa rinjiga guryaha. guryaha intooda badan waa guryo waqti hore la dhisay 1978 wixii ka horreeyay la dhisay. marka ay soo daataan ay dhulka ku daataan carruurta yaran inay taartaan baa laga yaabaa ay cunaan kadibna jirkooda uu sidaa ku galo. Let me just explain how lead gets into the body and how children could get exposed to. So what's Hennapin County's lead removal program?
Yeah, so what our lead removal program does is to give money to families in Hennapin County to help fix those lead hazards. And
All right, and how much or who qualifies for this grant program?
yeah, so the grant is free money for families, up to $15,000. What this does is that it helps families get new windows, can be to replace some of the wood painted sidings or whatnot that may be causing those lead hazards.
waa tahay waxay sharaxday programka Hennapin County ee dadka ku caawiso in leedka looga saaro guryaha ilaa iyo $50,000 ayay familiyada qaar u qualify garoobayaan macnaha ay heli karayaan. Could you explain the income level of the families and how they get qualified for that?
Yeah, so there is 4 criteria for the lead program. What it is that it's for any resident in Hennapin County. They can apply online. That they have to live in a house that was built before 1978. Like Amy said, lead paint was used until then, so there's more chance of lead being present there. The other thing is that you have to be a renter or a homeowner for it, and you have to have a child under the age of 6 living or visiting you. There is a income qualification for it, so you have to make under a certain amount to qualify for it that you will be providing.
All right, waxay sharaxday in familiyada qaar hadda guri leedahay ama mid kiraaba aad degan tahay aad xaq u leedahay inaad lacagtaasi hesho aad dalbato. dabcan waxaa jira qofka dakhliga soo galo in ay ku qiyaasan tahay inta la siinayo. waxaan idin soo gelinaynaa shaashada aan dakhliga iyo sidoo kale yahay iyo waliba formka applicationka aad ku dalban kartaan. And since children the one is at risk to be exposed to lead, what are the health risks for children that could happen to them in the future? Or
Lead is something that damages the brain and the nervous system. So when small children are getting lead into their bodies, it can cause problems with growing and learning. This can sometimes show up later, not right away. There usually aren't any signs or symptoms, and that's why lead is so tricky. But sometimes it can cause problems in school or later on.
Yeah, ilmaha markii oo lead exposure ku dhaca ama sunta lead ay maaragtay jirkooda gasho waxa laga yaabaa isla markiiba inay ka muuqdaan laakiin mustaqbalka waxbarashadooda iyo garaadkooda iyo dabeecadooda ayay wax u dhibi kartaa bay tiri marka waxay u baahan tahay in arrimahaas laga hortago. So since lead is too risky for the children, it may not happen right away, but in the future, then what are the preventive measures in order kids not to get exposed to the lead?
Yeah, so a couple of really important things are to make sure your children have been tested for lead. We typically test children at age 1 and age 2 at their well child checkup, but if they haven't had a lead test, they should get one anytime after that, up to age 18. Pregnant and breastfeeding women should also consider getting tested. As well as learning to know what lead paint looks like. When lead paint is peeling, it typically looks like scales, like little rectangles. So if you see that in your house, it's most likely lead paint. And you can contact the county program about getting it checked out, even if you don't have a child with lead poisoning yet. Yep.
All right. Speaking of the county, county government, how many families has Hennepin County helped with the lead removal program since it began?
Yeah, so the lead removal program started back in 2004, and it's funded through the Housing and Urban Development. So this is free money that we are giving to families. And since it started, we have helped over 5,000 families to remove lead hazard from their homes.
If the family applies for the program and they get approved, what happens next?
Yeah, so what happened next when they get approved into our program is that one of our lead risk assessor who knows how to work with really well, they'll come out to the family, they will call the family to schedule an in-home visit. And what this in-home visit does is that there'll be 3 lead risk assessor who will go into the family home and they will check the whole house for anything that is lead hazards in there. And this usually takes less than 3 hours for them to check out what the lead hazards are, and the main lead risk assessor, who is assigned to the family, will write a report of what needs to get fixed. And from there, families are able to say, hey, I can fix this, this is easy enough, so we don't take out that money and use that money for these newer windows or energy efficient windows. And so what they can take some classes for, and then for us, we will find a contractor that we have been working with to come and help remove all these lead out of their homes. And when that does happen, there are times where family can't be in the home because, as you know, lead is dangerous for them. And so we'll relocate them to stay at a hotel or a home that is lead safe. And so that way the work can be done, and when the work is, and we have money for that too. So just know that if they had to move out because we're doing the lead work, they have a place to stay, and we'll cover that up. And so that way they'll come back to a house that is lead free, or at least lead safe.
And haddii programka aad apply garayso oo lagu approve gareeyo waxaa dhacaya next waxaa waaye in saraakiil ka socota degmada caafimaadka ay yimaadaan guriga ay 3 saac ay ku ogaadaan qalabkaaga iyo dirshadahaada inay lead qabaan. Haddii laga helo waxaa laga yaabaa in guriga adiga ma aragtay laga raro, laakiin meel fiican baa lagu dejinayaa ama guri kale ka fiican ama hotel baa lagu dejinayaa. Lacagtina way u hayaan ay ku bixin lahaayeen. Guriga waa la habeyn, waa la hagaajin. Haddii aad u baahan tahay waxbarasho ee waxaana waa lagu barahayaa qaabka ma aragtay leadka ama sunta rasaasta ee dadka u samayso. Marka barnaamij aad u fiican laga faa'iideysto ayaan leedahay. All right, Amy, for you, how many Hennepin County children are diagnosed with lead exposure?
Yeah, in 2023, there were about 100 families identified with lead poisoning. So it's still a common problem in Minneapolis.
So what happens at those visits, those people who are exposed to?
Yes, when a child has a lead level of 5 or higher, I will come to their house if they are open to having me come. We would talk about nutrition, how that can help with lead poisoning. We would talk about preventing exposure to lead and how the children grow and learn, as well as helping them through the next steps, like the medical follow-up and connecting them with anyone else they need connection with.
Thank you so much. Sida aad maqlaysaan Hennepin County iyo shaqaalaha caafimaadka dhammaantood waxay diyaar u yihiin in ay ka qayb qaataan sidii leedka ama sunta rasaasta looga hortegi lahaa caruurtana looga fogeyn lahaa wax badan bay idin qabanayaan oo ku saabsan tacliimin iyo inuu guriga wax qabo dowladda lacag ayay ku bixinaysaa marka waxaad u baahan tahay keliya inaad caawimaadaas adiga aad dalbato foomkana khadka ayaa idin soo gelinaynaa. Speaking of the lead removal program, so why do you think this program is important?
Yeah, it's important because we want to make sure that we're fixing all those lead issues from their homes. But I wanted to add on to what Amy said is that she is helping families out. We are also helping family out by testing the household items in their homes. So for instance, we will test out all the windows components and all the doors and all the paint in their home when we go out to these families' homes. And we're just testing for the lead hazards. And when we find these, it could be something as common as those windows that has lead paint, or it could be something that family are not aware of. For instance, we have collected a few items that I would like to show if that's okay with you.
Yes.
Right. And so some of the stuff that we have found is like, for instance, there is soils that has lead in there from the lead of gasoline. We have found turmeric, which is a spice that has.
With the camera, right?
Oh yes, that has turmeric that has lead in it, you know. And these are some ceramic cups that has found to be lead, and these doesn't get dangerous until it start peeling and start cracking. That's where that lead is now seeping out into whatever you're eating from, and that's very dangerous. We want to make and we want to make sure that we want to remind people that, you know, this is our program that we not only test and help fix a household item, but we want to test for these household items.
So what is this here?
Yeah, this is a candy jar that we got from a family, and here you can see that it's starting to, and they usually put candies in here and whatnot, and if you notice, it's already starting to crack up a little bit. That's what that lead chip paints is now getting into those candy, and now you're eating it. These are some items that we were finding.
Can I have those? I want to explain some of those, and the soil and the turmeric. So كانت جدا وتمارك وايه وبهالك أدك استعماله حواججه cuntada lagu darsado many Somali families use this a lot. waa laga helay xawaashka dibadaha laga keeno ayuu ka mid yahay baalku waa marka aad bay muhiim u tahay inaad iska ilaaliso waxa cunaysid kanna waxa weeyaan carrada laga helay oo ilmaha de banaanka ku ciyaaraan waa suuragal inay lead exposure ku dhaco kanna waa weelkan aad arkaysaan oo maaragtay nin wax lagu rito iyo koobka shaaha lagu cabo isna we use this for drinking tea a lot. So haduu jajabo ama qarinjiga uu ka soo daato iska ilaali dib ha u isticmaalin maxaa yeelay leedka sunta ayaa adiga jirkaada ama jirka caruurta gali karta. Thank you so much for bringing this items. They look familiar stuff that we use in our household items.
And turmeric is usually fine. It's when it comes from another country or like a global market, sometimes they can be contaminated. But if you buy it from a regular store, it's okay to use turmeric. And other spices.
Most of the spices in here is safe, but there are some that, you know, that are from other countries that are not tested.
So speaking of that, have people differentiate between the tested spices from overseas and the ones that are safe and the ones that are not safe?
So the FDA usually do the testing of some of those items before they are imported to the United States. However, there's, for instance, this turmeric is from a family who made it, you know, and gave it to their family to bring it to the United States, and so it didn't get through any checking or anything, and that's where there can be lead exposure to it. But most of the items that you find at the store, and we do testing some of those items too, we have tested and it does not have lead in it.
Thank you for clarifying that. So isbaasada storada lagu gado inta badan FDA ayaa soo martay waa la approve gareeyay macna wax sax oo la isticmaali karo waa ka cabsan laakiin hadduu qof iska keeno waxyaabo in dawladda jagareen oo la baarin kuwaas ayaa la diidayaa in la isticmaalo maxaa yeelay lead ayay qabi karaan. So what are the next steps that parents can take if the children are exposed to the lead?
If you know your child has been exposed to lead, if they have a high lead level, we will be reaching out to them. They don't have to necessarily do anything, but it's good to just speak with me and the lead inspection team so we can identify the sources of lead. That's the most important way to stop the child's level from getting higher and causing problems, is finding where the lead's coming from so we can remove the hazard from the house.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So where I see the government is helping, especially the Hennepin County government. So where and how do people, apply for this program?
Yeah, so they can go online and it's called hennepincounty.us/lead control. Or they can also give us a call as well too to find more information and how to apply for this program. Again, it's money that we are helping residents in Hennepin County to fix these lead hazards.
Thank you so much. sida muuqato haddaad caawimaad u baahan tahay ama gurigaada laga baaro ama aad dalbanayso telefoon numberka shaashada ayuu idinka muuqdaa sidoo kale website-kana shaashada idinka muuqda halka ayaad geli kartaan ood ka fiirsan kartaan wixii macluumaad dheeri ah sidoo kale annaga ayaad nala soo xiriiri kartaan annaga ayaa idinkugu xirayna they can contact us as well, right?
Yes.
To connect with the Hennepin County. That's what I just said. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
daawadayaal intaasi waxaa ku dhan barnaamijkii koobnaa inooga hadlaynay sunta leedka ama sunta rasaasta waxaa loo yaqaano ee maarta ka dharata meelo badan ayaa laga helaa rinjiga ataa qalabyaha aan isticmaalno iyo isbaasyada la isticmaalo waxay u baahan tahay in dadka ay aad isaga ilaaliyaan maxaa yeelay caruurta iyo dumarka uurka leh aad ayay khatar u tahay caafimaadkoodan halis bay gelinaysaa barnaamijka waxaa la socodsiiyay aniga cabdirasaaq sheekh mursal xagga farsamada waa injineer sayid saciid saalax waxaana marti inoogu ahaa saraakiil caafimaad oo ka socota Hennepin County intaynu barnaamijkan mid lamid ah dib hooda u kulmi doonaan waxaan kaga tegaynaa soo nabadgelyo wassalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatu